They came all this way. That was stupid.
Hello, guys.
Yo, what's up?
Good, and you?
What?
Hello.
I don't understand.
I'm good, and you?
Ah, yes, I'm good too. Where you from, guys?
I'm from Morocco.
What? North America?
No, I'm from Morocco.
Morocco?
Yes, and I'm live streaming now, so please, for all team,
Oh, you
no
live
insults.
streaming? On what platform?
And on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick.
With what name, bro? What name? I watched the stream, bro.
The same name, Wiz. My channel name is Wiz in YouTube and all platforms.
I'm out of here.
Careful here.
Night night.
I'm
Wolves
out
are
of here.
rising. Fire's out.
For you. Gotta go. Reloading. Reloading. Go, go, go! Reloading. Almost out. Kill.
Bro.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
There.
Last one down.
Nice one.
Bro, where are you live, bro? I don't find you.
Sage, remember that you can't. Good work.
Ah, break's over. Gotta go. Go, go, go.
Here.
Gotta go.
Careful
One
here.
dead. Reloading. Go, go, go.
Spike planted.
I'm out of
Beacon
here.
here.
I'm out of here.
Enemy spotted. A.
Coming through. Reload. Gotta go.
Multiple enemies A.
Reloading. Reloading.
One enemy remaining.
Peace. I've tried explosions. Not a fan.
They want Odin. Let's use
Fine,
Odin.
I admit it. That was nice.
No, bro, please no, Odin, please no.
Ah, they used Odin, so I will use it.
Nah, bro, I don't play Odin, you know. I'm not that, you know.
I just found it, so it's okay. Don't worry. I didn't
think
buy it.
Odin's no skill, you know. That's why I don't play it.
Keep up.
It's the rush. It's Odin is also only for rushing directly to.
What a rise.
Here. Go, go, go. Enemy spotted mid. Reloading. Reloading. Go, go, go.
B.
I'm out of
Spike
here.
planted.
Watch out. Coming through. Gotta go. Enemy.
Last player standing.
Go away. know what must be done. Go, go, go!
Bro, last sector main.
I'm out of here! I'm out of here!
Bro, how much you have on YouTube, Wiz?
Stay in the moment.
I don't hear you. Say again?
How much subscribers?
Smoke's
do you
down.
I have 300k.
300k?
Yeah. But not from streaming.
Need help.
What?
Spike down B.
Opponent killed.
Spike spotted B. Enemy spotted B.
The hunt begins. Last player standing.
Alessandra, are you serious? Ah, Alessandra. Alessandra, focus in your aim.
Snack time! Sorry. Only brought enough for me. Go, go, go!
Oh, no problem, no problem. A nice try.
Go, go, go!
Alexandra.
I'm out of here!
Hold those angles.
Gotta go!
Fully smoked.
Here.
Molly.
Oh,
Reloading. Enemy spotted.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
nice try, nice try.
Remember, bullets hurt. Gotta go! Go, go, go!
Safety's off.
Need a drop.
No, sorry.
Launching smoke. Molly. Caution here.
Reloading.
Careful here. Careful here. Let's turn the tide.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Go, go, go!
Here.
Spike planted.
Multiple targets.
Running low.
Stim beacon down.
Smart. Gotta go!
Enemy spotted A.
Last player standing.
Open up the sky.
Ah, last. It was nice, but you are loading. Nice
They
try.
think they're the best until we prove them wrong.
Ah.
I'm out of here.
Come on, guys, we got this.
I'm out of here. Gotta go.
Fight!
Walls up.
I'm out of here.
Here.
Go,
Here.
go, go.
Enemy spotted B.
Take this. This is my territory. My rules.
Fire's out.
Here. My ult
One
ready.
enemy remaining.
Go, go, go. Gotta
As
go.
far as duels go,
Nice, guys.
not bad.
Nice one.
Just let them try to catch me.
Alessandra, I saved you and you saved us. Nice one.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Reloading.
Down and out.
Gotta go. Go, go, go. Take this.
Target, attack a spawn.
You blink. This way.
Spike down B. One enemy remaining.
Spotted B.
Your journey ends here.
Nice, guys.
Time to stock back up. Go, go, go. I'm out of here. Gotta go.
I need help.
Gotta go.
Try not to get shot, okay? Careful here.
Go, go, go.
Someone's in attacker spawn.
Target A. Gun here.
I'm out of here.
Oh,
Enemy spotted A.
Spike planted.
Your duty is not over.
thank you, saved us.
Hunt begins.
Reloading.
Last player standing.
Anyone dehydrated? Need a quick rinse? Just checking.
Gotta go.
Are you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, bro.
I'm out of here. Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Show them how we fight. Open up the sky. Deep fried.
I'm out of here.
Here.
Running low.
Someone's in attacker spawn.
One enemy remaining.
Gotta go!
Right here.
Spike planted.
Go, go, go! Almost out.
Here.
Gotta go!
Neon, I hope this is in your stream, bro. I love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just same.
Woo! We
Love you
got
too,
this.
man.
Jet. Jet, Jet.
I'm out of here.
Jet.
Yeah, bro. What's up?
Take this.
What should I do?
Take this. Come.
Thank you, bro.
Okay.
Thank you
I
very
need
much,
help.
bro.
Enemy spotted B.
One enemy remaining. Spike down B.
Go ahead.
Go, go,
Stand
go!
your ground.
Gotta go! I spotted B.
Last round in the half.
Halftime. Don't save a thing.
Speak up if you need a gun. Speak up if you need a gun.
Anyone need anything?
Gotta go! I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
Holy smoke. Molly.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Watch this.
Target mid.
One enemy remaining.
Go, go, go!
Spike down B.
There we go!
No, I can't reload. What the fuck?
It's over. Reloaded.
Reloading.
Switching sides.
My advice? Don't get shot. I'm out of here.
So we go B or we go mid then? What do you think? What do you think?
Right there.
Move!
Enemy spotted B.
I'm out of here. Enemy spotted.
Spike down B.
Go, go, go!
Spike.
Bye-bye.
One enemy remaining.
Watch out. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta charge it. Go, go, go. They're supposed to be fighting back,
Good work.
right?
Good work.
Saving. Gotta go.
We push A this time?
There. I'm out of here.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
There.
Right here.
Alice. Go, go, go.
Launching
Short
smoke.
gun.
Stim beacon here. Spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
Let's rest age. Is there or there? I don't know. Yes.
Take this! I'm out of here!
Nice.
Vandal for free.
Conflict is not my first choice, but
Good
that
work.
choice was made.
Good work.
Gotta go! Go, go, go!
I've got cash. Anyone need something?
Can someone spot me? Shukriya, thank you. Aram se.
I'm out of here!
Ugh!
Coming through! I'm out of here!
Water rising.
Smoke's down.
Gotta go!
Dim beacon down.
Spike planted.
Rest. My ultimate is ready.
There.
One enemy remaining.
Reloading.
Smoke's down.
Gotta go! End of story.
Nice, guys.
Go, go, go! Go, go,
Let
go!
them try to get through me.
Gotta go!
Need something?
I'm out of
I've
here!
got cash. Anyone need something?
Speak up if you need a gun.
There! Go, go, go!
I have extra money if anyone needs.
I'll show them! Lintik kayo! Gotta go! Go, go, go!
Launching smoke.
Gotcha.
Coming through!
Spike planted. Need help. Gun here.
Shield going up.
Gun here.
One enemy
Gotta go.
remaining.
My territory! My rules! Take this! I'm out of here! Out of charges!
Reloading.
Skana! You're done! Gotta go! If you must fall, then fall near me. I'm out of here! Go, go, go!
Speak up if you need a gun.
There!
Let's go. B. We do the technique of A, then B, then A, then B, so they they're full of trouble.
Target B.
Blocking sight! Go, go, go!
Water rising.
Stim beacon here.
Watch out! I'm out of here!
Reloading.
Reloading.
Hit, Sage, hit.
Reloading.
Sage, hit, please.
There!
Don't have, sorry.
Ah, okay.
Blocking fire.
Blocking sight!
Last player standing. Spike down B.
That's right.
Free guys.
Drink some water, reload your mags, and let's get back out there.
Go, go, go!
Let's go B again. Let's go B again.
Yes, let's go. We have sniper.
Can someone get this?
Thank you.
Got one. I'm out of here. Reloading.
Sage, don't stay with close to me.
Go ahead. Stand your ground.
I'm out of here.
Enemy spotted.
Begins.
This way. Go, go, go.
I need heal. Sage, please.
Healing.
Reloading.
One enemy
Take it
remaining.
out. I'll spike. Your duty is not over.
Spike down
That
B.
sucked.
Last player standing.
Bro, I swear to God, he's injecting or something like that, bro.
Thirty seconds left.
Here we go.
Clutch.
Out of charges.
Nice.
Nice. Thank you.
Match point.
They look tired.
Good work.
Finish it.
Good work.
Speak up
Gotta
if
go.
you need a gun.
Here.
We can do
I've got
this.
cash. Anyone need something?
Well
Gotta
done.
go.
Ah, well done.
I'm gonna save.
It's now or never. Wave crashing.
My territory. My rules. I have them now.
It's time to die.
Enemy down. Reloading.
You got this, guys.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Light planted.
I came from back.
Sorry.
Last player standing.
You got this, Last. You got this, bro.
Go
Oh
ahead,
my God,
Blim.
good.
Open up the sky.
Nice.
Molly.
One enemy remaining.
Nice one.
Nice. Let's go.
Very
Nice,
nice.
nice, nice.
I think it's. Is it?
Maybe.
Whoa.
Ah, I got
No.
it. Second,
Ah,
1
hell
second.
no.
Nice one.
No problem.
Listen up.
This is
Kill
to
them
win.
before they kill us. Go, go, go.
I will hold up the sky.
Enemy spotted A.
There.
Yikes.
Alice.
Nice, Neo.
Enemy spot. Watch this. Gotta go.
Enemy spotted mid.
Last player standing.
Ah.
50 on
Ah.
right. Oh.
Smoke's down.
Oh, nice.
Launching smoke.
You got this.
Spike
You got
planted.
this.
Launching smoke.
Nice try.
I think they got it. Bro, it's insane. What the fuck?
Okay, let's
Hell
finish
no.
this.
Even
Let's
with
finish
numbers,
this.
anything can still happen. Remember that. Gotta go! Here. Quick feet, quick trigger.
Shift, guys.
Reloading. Nice try.
Let's finish this.
I'm out of here.
Nice, guys.
Go, go, go.
The hunt begins.
This way. I'm out
Plant
of
the
here.
spike.
Blocking sight.
One enemy remaining.
That's 3. Light planted. My ultimate is ready. For you. Gotta go.
Nice one.
Attackers win.
Now to mend what we have broken.
Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. Part 1. The seventh day. And the Spirit and the bride say, Come. And let him that heareth say, Come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. I looked down the line, and I wondered. Everyone had always said that John would be a preacher when he grew up, just like his father. It has been so often that John, without ever thinking about it, had come to believe it himself. Not until the morning of his 14th birthday did he really begin to think about it, and by then it was already too late. His earliest memories, which were in a way his only memories, were of the hurry and brightness of Sunday mornings. They all rose together on that day. His father, who did not have to go to work and led them in prayer before breakfast. His mother, who dressed up on that day and looked almost young with her hair straightened, and on her head the close-fitting white cap that was the uniform of holy women. His younger brother, Roy, who was silent that day because his father was home. Sarah, who wore a red ribbon in her hair that day and was fondled by her father. And the baby, Ruth, who was dressed in pink and white and rode in her mother's arms to church. The church was not very far away, for block up Lenox Avenue, on a corner not far from the hospital. It was to this hospital that his mother had gone when Roy and Sarah and Ruth were born. John did not remember very clearly the first time she had gone to have Roy. Folks said that he had cried and carried on the whole time his mother was away. He remembered only enough to be afraid every time her belly began to swell, knowing that each time the swelling began it would not end until she was taken from him, to come back with a stranger. Each time this happened she became a little more of a stranger herself. She would soon be going away again, Roy said. He knew much more about such things than John. John had observed his mother closely, seeing no swelling yet, but his father had prayed one morning for the little voyager soon to be among them. And so John knew that Roy spoke the truth. Every Sunday morning, then, since John could remember, they had taken to the streets the Grimes family on their way to church. Sinners along the avenue watched him. Men still wearing their Sunday night clothes, wrinkled and dusty now, muddy-eyed and muddy-faced. And the women with harsh voices and tight, bright dresses, cigarettes between their finger or held tightly in the corners of their mouths. They talked and laughed and fought together, and the women fought like the men. John and Roy, passing these men and women, looked at one another briefly, John embarrassed and Roy amused. Roy would be like them when he grew up, if the Lord did not change his heart. These men and women they passed on Sunday mornings had spent the night in bars, or in cat houses, or on the streets, or on the rooftops, or under the stairs. They had been drinking. They had gone from cursing to laughter, to anger, to lust. Once he and Roy had watched a man and woman in the basement of a condemned house. They did it standing up. The woman had wanted 50 cents, and the man had flashed a razor. John had never watched again. He had been afraid. But Roy had watched them many times, and he told John he had done it with some girls down the block. And his mother and father, who went to church on Sundays, they did it too, and sometimes John heard them in the bedroom behind him, over the sound of rats' feet and rat screams, and the music and cursing from the harlot's house downstairs. Their church was called the Temple of the Fire Baptized. It was not the biggest church in Harlem, not yet the smallest, but John had been brought up to believe it was the holiest and best. His father was head deacon in this church. There were only two, the other a round, black man named Deacon Braithwaite, and he took up the collection and sometimes he preached. The pastor, Father James, was a genial, well-fed man with a face like a darker moon. It was he who preached on Pentecost Sundays and led revivals in the summertime and anointed and healed the sick. On Sunday mornings and Sunday nights, the church was always full. On special Sundays, it was full all day. The Grimes family arrived in a body, always a little late, usually in the middle of Sunday school, which began at 9 o'clock. This lateness was always their mother's fault, at least in the eyes of their father. She could not seem to get herself and the children ready on time, ever, and sometimes she actually remained behind, not to appear until the morning service. When they all arrived together, they separated upon entering the doors, father and mother going to sit in the adult class, which was taught by Sister McCandless, Sarah going to the infants class, John and Roy sitting in the intermediate, which was taught by Brother Alicia. "You got a special craving for something?" John looked at him. Roy was not in a good mood. "I ain't said nothing to you," he said. "Oh, I beg your pardon," said Roy in the shrill little girl tone he knew John hated. "What's the matter with you today?" John asked, angry, and trying at the same time to lend his voice as husky a pitch as possible. "Don't you let Roy bother you," said their mother. "He cross as two sticks this morning." "Yeah," said John. "I reckon." He and Roy watched each other. Then his plate was put before him, hominy grits and a scrap of bacon. He wanted to cry, like a child. "But, Mama, it's my birthday." He kept his eyes on his plate and began to eat. "You can talk about your daddy all you want to," said his mother, picking up her battle with Roy. "But one thing you can't say he ain't always done his best to be a father to you and to see to it that you ain't never gone hungry." "I been hungry plenty of times," Roy said, proud to be able to score this point against his mother. "Wasn't his fault, then. Wasn't because he wasn't trying to feed you. Then man shoveled snow in zero weather when he ought be been in bed just to put food in your belly." "Wasn't just my belly," said Roy indignantly. "He got a belly too, I know. It's a shame the way that man eats. I sure ain't asked him to shovel no snow for me." But he dropped his eyes, suspecting a flaw in his argument. "I just don't want him beating on me all the time," he said at last. "I ain't no dog." She sighed and turned slightly away, looking out of the window. "Your daddy beats you," she said, "because he loves you." Roy laughed. "That ain't the kind of love I understand, old lady. What you reckon he'd do if he didn't love me?" "He'd let you go right on," she flashed. "Right on down to hell where it looks like you is just determined to go anyhow. Right on, Mr. Man, till somebody puts a knife in."
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hope you are doing all fine.
Thank you, mate. I'm smoking weed.
Enjoy.
Thanks, mate.
Arena and Weeds. It will be a great match, I guess.
I'm always high, you know. My psychotherapist told me to stay high.
Behind you is same shit, bro.
Ah, bro, I'm a professional fighter. It's all good, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And we are all live, by the way.
Then you're carry.
Wait,
You're
tell
carry.
me again. Am I a carry?
Yeah.
Ah, you guess so. I don't know.
Yes, you can, bro.
No, bro.
I believe in you.
Cypher, the Teku, Redstone, Reina, Sage. I guess Cypher will make us some trouble.
The sanctuary is grateful for your support, leader, but do not expect any favors.
Of course, I only wish to help a friend. Nothing more.
So we go B then C or B then A.
Go, go, go!
Let's go see, but just don't block me, okay?
Okay, let's go C.
Let me and Neon go first because we're dueling.
Don't worry.
And just don't stop, okay? Let's all push, but we don't block.
Don't worry. I hope I don't die.
I'm out of here! You're good!
Plant the spike.
Spike planted.
Cyphers.
There!
Playtime, play.
Oh,
Last player standing.
Nice try, nice.
Teleport's ready.
always plant the spike. Where I was behind the box.
Plant
Yes,
Plant
plant
in
open.
open.
Yes,
Look.
exactly.
Please.
It's all,
Okay.
guys, it's all good, Just it was my bad because I went to city and overpushed. So yeah, we can do it again on 8.
It's okay. No problem.
Go, go, go!
We got this, guys.
Save some money also, no? Come full buy. And drop the spike Neon to Sage.
I have the spike.
I'm out of here!
Push first.
Feeling fat.
Damn! Out of charges! I'm out of here!
You fought well.
Spike planted.
Enemy's feeling you.
Fuck, out of bullets. Minus 55 seconds.
One enemy remaining.
Gotta go!
Deja also. Just 10 seconds. Don't peek until he defuses. He's up.
There!
Save, just go, save.
Gotta go!
Neon also.
Out of charges! Ugh. My Lola was right. Weeds are difficult to kill. Need a drop. I'm out of here.
Let's go see. I guess Chamber has the sniper.
Maybe B, yeah, maybe. But I will go through garage.
B is not bad. It's too bad.
fake C.
Go, go, go!
Reloading.
Go, go, go! Coming through! I'm out of here!
Reloading.
Plant open.
Def.
Take this!
Planted. My ultra.
One enemy
Get
remaining.
rest. There!
Say, Neon, go back to C. Go back to C, spawn like.
Gotta go!
Good job.
Hi! Fight's not over, you know. I'm out of here!
Go ahead.
As one! Go, go, go! This way! Go, go, go!
Cutting their vision. Reloading. Our spikes down.
Gotta go!
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Take the spike and go to C. Take the spike and go to
I
C.
have the spike.
Go to C, go to C, go to C.
Spike down
Low,
A.
low, low.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm out of here! Rana! Clock sticking!
Let's go.
What do you need?
Gotta go!
What do you need?
Go, go, go!
I can buy for you. My treat.
A woman request, please.
Cutting their vision.
My ult is
I'm
ready.
out of here! Shortcut!
Enemy spotted C. Reloading.
Rotate.
Gotta go!
Can you move?
For you.
Let's go.
Go, go, go! I'm out of here! Our spike's down!
Neon.
Oh no.
Spike down
Gotta
B.
go.
Spike because I'm gonna come from behind, okay?
Go, go, go!
Just wait. Don't push together with me, okay? Check me on the.
Go, go, go!
Ah, fucking gamble.
Last player standing.
Oh.
Sage, why you went to the.
I will take back
See,
what is
why
mine.
you fucking pushing B? Why?
Okay, never mind.
Please don't insult her on live. Thank you very much.
It's all good, bro. I'm
I'm out of here! Gotta go! Through the calm, I see. Through the storm, I fight.
Wait, son. Be careful.
Shadows traveling.
Be careful on the right side.
Reloading.
Go, go, go!
Reloading.
You
Rotate A.
Rotate. And give
I'm
give
outta
Izzy on
here.
the spike. She's fast.
Give me.
Spike. Cover
Gotta
going
go.
out.
Give me spike.
Go. Shortcut.
Prepare for hellfire.
Enemy spotted.
A.
Planted.
Enemy spotted.
The hunt begins.
I was reloading. Reyna, you are I.
Last player standing.
Blinding.
One enemy remaining.
She's defusing. Go. Okay, she's not defusing.
Defuse. Nice one.
You forget your place.
Ah.
You are a force of nature.
Wait, why did you drop my MVP?
Gotta go.
Oh man, just flex too hard now. He doesn't have a weapon.
Embarrassing.
Oh man, give me spike.
Alright.
Oh man.
I'm out of here.
Go ahead.
Shortcut.
I know exactly where you
Go away. They know where you are. Go away. Plan.
Go.
Careful. Reloading.
Watch out.
Behind the champ.
They found my trap.
Back off.
Last
Spike
player
down.
standing. Spike down A.
Shift.
Here we go.
One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left. Clutch.
Nice.
Almost got me. Not.
Thank you.
The nightmare is becoming real.
Gotta go.
No, gotta move up.
Is it good to see this time?
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought.
Can you?
Need a drop. Need a drop.
Continue to overwhelm them. Your duty is not going through.
Rotate. Lock.
Reloading.
Cheers. You look at the cycle's wires there. Let's go. Alright.
Gotta go.
Last player standing.
Oh.
They're camping. All on C. Just smoke the main entrance, please.
Stealing sight.
Defusing. Ah, nice try.
Nice try.
Weapon choice. It is so personal, no? You pick a gun and it tells me who you are.
I'm out of here. Let's go.
No, no.
Then why I asked you to buy for me last round and you didn't buy.
Ah, sorry. I was looking at the live stream. Sorry.
I have the spike.
Yeah, I asked like 2 times.
Gotta go.
Be careful, B.
Come. You want Vandal? You want Vandal?
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm lagging, bro.
Go. Spotted C. Gotta go.
We turn to dust.
I'm out of here.
Enemy spotted mid. Reloading.
Reloading.
Cover going out.
3 down. Go.
Careful.
Shortcut. I'm out of here. Out of charges. I got spike.
Spike down B. 30 seconds left.
I'm out of here.
Last player standing. 1 enemy remaining. A.
No.
Nice.
Nice.
Must I do
Sage.
everything?
I'll make them remember.
Need a drop.
Only human.
Thank you.
I buy you a Vandal. I don't buy for myself. Just to
No, bro.
to say sorry.
Request. Maybe Sage can buy for you.
No, don't worry.
Gotta go.
No, it's autonomy, bro. Like, if you don't buy now, you have to save then. So,
Need a drop.
Okay, Sage, can you bear me, please?
Salamat, thanks.
Thank you.
I'm out of here.
I'm gonna push garage, so.
Okay.
Reloading.
Fucking bitch, bro.
Wipe.
Deja,
Gotta go.
without any ability.
Shortcut. Go.
Spike down B.
Go.
Trap destroyed.
Take this.
1 enemy remaining.
I have the spike.
I'm out of here.
This suit is ruined.
Imagine this Deja was so desperate to kill me that he just used all
Once
utility.
more
on
into
me.
battle. I'm not tired. Are you? Gotta go.
In we go.
I'm out of here.
Reloading.
Gotta go.
Be careful. Let's go back. He's there.
Shadows traveling. Shadows traveling.
This way. Go.
Spike planted.
The hunt begins.
Why did you plan there, bro? He's gonna defuse.
1 enemy remaining.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice, guys.
Last round before the switch.
Spend everything.
Go.
Just don't plant without your team.
I can buy for you. My treat.
Anyone need anything?
I just wanna chill. I don't wanna sweat.
They are so
Together.
dead.
I'm gonna go garage. Sage C.
There.
Reyna there.
Oh, I like it.
You will not kill
here.
my ally. We're good. I got. I'm out of here.
Spike down. C.
Your juicy is not
Oh,
over.
Cypher dead.
I have this fight.
Prepare for hellfire.
Last player standing.
Nice try. No?
Nice try.
Switching sides.
But Cypher got him in such a dumb position.
What will it be this time?
Yeah, Cypher and his fucking shitty powers.
Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
They should give up now.
Gotta go. There.
Nice, nice.
There. Take this.
Spike planted.
Good smokes.
Go, 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 go.
Go, push, push.
One enemy remaining.
Nice one, Reyna.
Just tired, you know.
Teleport's ready.
My burden never ends.
Buy Spectre and Light Shields.
I need this.
Gotta go.
Or Marshall. Because
Thank you.
They're not gonna have armor. Yeah, it's gonna.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, smokes on A, rotate type pistol. One step. Neon, you can, stay in your.
Almost out. Gotta go.
So there is no only one?
Gotta go.
Planting?
Spike planted.
Go, go, go. I'm out of here.
Enemy spotted A. Enemy spotted A.
Reloading. Enemy A.
Watch out.
Last player standing.
This way.
No.
Stand tall. We are Valorant. We are fighters. Go, go, go!
I will rip the light from them.
I'm out of here.
I think it's A. It's either A or B. It's A, bro. Yeah, it's A.
Go, go, go! Running low. Gotta go!
Careful. Go.
Coming through!
Cypher.
standing.
Their lives are so meaningless. Might as well give them to me.
I'm out of here. Watching here.
Saving.
No, Arena, go watch the... Yeah.
No,
There.
no, no. I have shotgun. You see?
Okay.
Barrier created.
Yeah, just come.
Here. Watch out! Shocked one.
Nice. -66.
One on, right out.
Spike down A.
60 brain.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Last player standing.
Yeah, he's there. Don't
He's low, the whole.
Cover going out. Go ahead. Stand your ground.
Nice one.
Daisy ultimate on one person is dumb.
Prepare yourselves. We fight once again. Go, go, go! We go!
Stay inside.
There.
Enemy spotted C.
Enemy spotted mid.
Fuck, my aim is so bad. It's his big.
Gotta go!
I know exactly where you are.
I'm out of here!
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Take this! Got him!
These new friends of ours are not too friendly.
Gotta go! Go, go, go!
See.
Cover going out.
The hunt begins.
Spike down mid.
Reyna low.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
She healed. Can you revive me? Can you revive me? Sage, please. Just go back. Just go back and revive me. Please listen to the language.
Ingat ka! Don't get stabbed. Bad way to go.
Говорю, блядь, литовский шнекет. Я могу говорить по-русски. Я parlo italiano un po'. Français.
Go, go, go! go, go! I'm out of here!
Spike down B.
Go, go, go!
One enemy remaining.
There!
Blinding.
Spike spotted B.
Thrifty.
The city needs me. I can't be away for long. Let's end this quickly. Need a drop. Thank you.
I'm out of here!
Enemy mid. Careful. Enemy spotted C.
Gotta go!
Spike planted.
Running low.
Cutting their vision.
Gotta go! I'm out of here!
Ah, Cypher, always hiding.
Last player standing.
Safe, safe.
One enemy remaining.
Excusez-moi.
Even with numbers, anything can still happen. Remember that. I'm out of here! Gotta go!
Bonne chance, mes amis.
Go, go, go! Gotta go! Go, go, go! Go, go, go!
Ah,
Insane.
Last player standing.
I survived obliteration. I will survive them.
Gotta go!
Snuff them out.
Gotta go!
see, see.
Shadows traveling.
I'm out of here!
Stealing sight.
The hunt begins.
Careful.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Please stay alive. I hate making new friends.
Come on, guys. We need to win this. Oh.
Who will I spot first?
Go, go, go! I'm out of here!
Shadows traveling.
Spike down mid.
Enemies caught at A.
You will not kill my ally!
30 seconds left.
Got one!
Last player standing.
Take this!
Ah.
Match point.
Look for my shadows, they will hide you.
Use all your ultimates.
Gotta go!
Enemy mid.
Go, go, go!
Careful.
Spike planted.
There they are. Too slow.
Go, go, go!
Defuse, just hide it.
One enemy remaining.
Stand your ground. Excuse me, I'm working.
I'm out of here! Are you kidding me right now?
One protect.
Last player standing. Clutch. Attackers win.
Go tell last sick hope for forgiveness. Did he look at the screen? He stared at the darkness around him, and at the profiles that gradually emerged from this gloom, was so like the gloom of hell. He waited for this darkness to be shattered by the light of the second coming, for the ceiling to crack upward, revealing, for every eye to see, the chariots of fire on which descended a wrathful God and all the host of heaven. He sank far down in his seat, as though his crouching might make him invisible and deny his presence there. But then he thought, not yet. The day of judgment is not yet. And voices reached him, the voices no doubt of the hapless man and the evil woman, and he raised his eyes helplessly and watched the screen. The woman was most evil. She was blonde and pasty white, and she had lived in London, which was in England, quite some time ago, judging from her clothes, and she coughed. She had a terrible disease, tuberculosis, which he had heard about. Someone in his mother's family had died of it. She had a great many boyfriends, and she smoked cigarettes and drank. When she met the young man, who was a student and who loved her very much, she was very cruel to him. She laughed at him because he was a cripple. She took his money and she went out with other men, and she lied to the student, who was certainly a fool. He limped about, looking soft and sad, and soon all John's sympathy was given to this violent and unhappy woman. He understood her when she raged and shook her lips and threw back her head in laughter so furious that it seemed the veins of her neck would burst. She walked the cold, foggy streets, a little woman and not pretty, with a lewd, brutal swagger, saying to the whole world, "You can kiss my arse." Nothing tamed or broke her. Nothing touched her. Neither kindness, nor scorn, nor hatred, nor love. She had never thought of prayer. It was unimaginable that she would ever bend her knees and come crawling along a dusty floor to anybody's altar, weeping for forgiveness. Perhaps her pride was so great that she did not need forgiveness. She had fallen from that high estate which God had intended for men and women, and she made her fall glorious because it was so complete. John could not have found in his heart, had he dared to search it, any wish for her redemption. He wanted to be like her, only more powerful, more thorough, and more cruel. To make those around him, all who hurt him, suffer as she made the students suffer, and laugh in their faces when they asked pity for their pain. He would have asked no pity, and his pain was greater than theirs. "Go on, girl," he whispered, as the student, facing her implacable ill will, sighed and wept. "Go on, girl." One day he would talk like that. He would face them and tell them how much he hated them, how they had made him suffer, how he would pay them back. Nevertheless, when she came to die, which she did eventually, looking more grotesque than ever, as she deserved, his thoughts were abruptly arrested, and he was chilled by the expression on her face. She seemed to stare endlessly outward and down, in the face of a wind more piercing than any she had felt on earth, feeling herself propelled with speed into a kingdom where nothing could help her, neither her pride, nor her courage, nor her glorious wickedness. In the place where she was going, it was not these things that mattered but something else, for which she had no name, only a cold intimation, something that she could not alter in any degree, and that she had never thought of. She began to cry, her depraved face breaking into an infant's grimace, and they moved away from her, leaving her dirty in a dirty room, alone to face her maker. The scene faded out and she was gone, and though the movie went on, allowing the student to marry another girl, darker and very sweet, but by no means so arresting, John thought of this woman and her dreadful end. Again, had the thought not been blasphemous, he would have thought that it was the Lord who had led him into this theater to show him an example of the wages of sin. The movie ended and people stirred around him. The newsreel came on, and while girls in bathing suits paraded before him and boxers growled and fought, and baseball players ran home safe and presidents and kings of countries that were only names to him moved briefly across the flickering square of light, John thought of hell, of his soul's redemption, and struggled to find a compromise between the way that led to life everlasting and the way that ended in the pit. But there was none, for he had been raised in the truth. He could not claim, as African savages might be able to claim, that no one had brought him the gospel. His father and mother and all the saints had taught him from his earliest childhood what was the will of God. Either he arose from this theater, never to return, putting behind him the world and its pleasures, its honors and its glories, or he remained here with the wicked and partook of their certain punishment. Yes, it was a narrow way, and John stirred in his seat, not daring to feel it God's injustice that he must make so cruel a choice. As John approached his home again in the late afternoon, he saw little Sarah, her coat unbuttoned, come flying out of the house and run the length of the street away from him into the far drugstore. Instantly, he was frightened. He stopped a moment, staring blankly down the street, wondering what could justify such hysterical haste. It was true that Sarah was full of self-importance, and made any errand she ran seem a matter of life or death. Nevertheless, she had been sent on an errand, and with such speed that her mother had not had time to make her button up her coat. Then he felt weary. If something had really happened, it would be very unpleasant upstairs now, and he did not want to face it. But perhaps it was simply that his mother had a headache and had sent Sarah to the store for some aspirin. But if this were true, it meant that he would have to prepare supper, and take care of the children, and be naked under his father's eyes all the evening long. And he began to walk more slowly. There were some boys standing on the veranda. They watched him as he approached, and he tried not to look at them and to approximate the swagger with which they walked. One of them said as he mounted the short, stone steps and started into the hall, "Boy, your brother was hurt real bad today." He looked at them in a kind of dread, not daring to ask for details, and he observed that they, too, looked as though they had been in a battle. Something hangdog in their looks suggested that they had been put to flight. Then he looked down and saw that there was blood at the threshold, and blood spattered on the tile floor of the vestibule. He looked again at the boys, who had not ceased to watch him, and hurried up the stairs. The door was half open, for Sarah's return, no doubt, and he walked in, making no sound, feeling a confused impulse to flee. There was no one in the kitchen, though the light was burning. The lights were on all through the house. On the kitchen table stood a shopping bag filled with groceries, and he knew that his Aunt Florence had arrived. The washtub, where his mother had been washing earlier, was open still, and filled the kitchen with a sour smell. There were drops of blood on the floor here too, and there had been small, smudged coins of blood on the stairs as he walked up. All this frightened him terribly. He stood in the middle of the kitchen, trying to imagine what had happened, and preparing himself to walk into the living room, where all the family seemed to be. Roy had been in trouble before, but this new trouble seemed to be the beginning of the fulfillment of a prophecy. He took off his coat, dropping it on a chair, and was about to start into the living room when he heard Sarah running up the steps. He waited, and she burst through the door, carrying a clumsy parcel. "What happened?" he whispered. She stared at him in astonishment and a certain wild joy. He thought again that he really did not like his sister. Catching her breath, she blurted out, triumphantly, "Roy got stabbed with a knife," and rushed into the living room. Roy got stabbed with a knife. Whatever this meant, it was sure that his father would be at his worst tonight. John walked slowly into the living room. His father and mother, a small basin of water between them, knelt by the sofa where Roy lay, and his father was washing the blood from Roy's forehead. It seemed that his mother, whose touch was so much more gentle, had been thrust aside by his father, who could not bear to have anyone else touch his wounded son. And now she watched, one hand in the water, and the other in a kind of anguish at her waist, which was circled still by the improvised apron of the morning. Her face, as she watched, was full of pain and fear, of tension barely supported, and of pity that could scarcely have been expressed had she filled all the world with her weeping. His father muttered sweet, delirious things to Roy, and his hands, when he dipped them again in the basin and wrung out the cloth, were trembling. Aunt Florence, still wearing her hat and carrying her handbag, stood a little removed, looking down at them with a troubled, terrible face. Then Sarah bounded into the room before him, and his mother looked up, reached out for the package and saw him. She said nothing, but she looked at him with a strange, quick intentness, almost as though there were a warning on her tongue which at the moment she did not dare to utter. His Aunt Florence looked up and said, "We been wondering where you was, boy. This bad brother of yours done gone out and got hisself hurt." But John understood from her tone that the fuss was, possibly, a little greater than the danger. Roy was not, after all, going to die, and his heart lifted a little. Then his father turned and looked at him. "Where you been, boy?" he shouted. "All this time. Don't you know you's needed here at home?" More than his words. His face caused John to stiffen instantly with malice and fear. His father's face was terrible in anger, but now there was more than anger in it. John saw now what he had never seen there before, except in his own vindictive fantasies. A kind of wild, weeping terror that made the face seem younger, and yet at the same time unutterably older and more cruel. And John knew, in the moment his father's eyes swept over him, that he hated John because John was not lying on the sofa where Roy lay. John could scarcely meet his father's eyes, and yet, briefly, he did, saying nothing, feeling in his heart an odd sensation of triumph, and hoping in his heart that Roy, to bring his father low, would die. His mother had unwrapped the package and was opening a bottle of peroxide. "Here," she said. "You better wash it with this now." Her voice was calm and dry. She looked at his father briefly, her face unreadable, as she handed him the bottle and the cotton. "This going to hurt," his father said, in such a different voice, so sad and tender. turning again to the sofa. But you just be a little man and hold still. It ain't going to take long. John watched and listened. Hating him, Roy began to moan. Aunt Florence moved to the mantelpiece and put her handbag down near the metal serpent. From the room behind, John heard the baby begin to whimper. "John," said his mother, "go and pick up her up like a good boy." Her hands, which were not trembling, were still busy. She had opened the bottle of iodine and was cutting up strips of bandage. John walked into his parents' bedroom and picked up the squalling baby, who was wet. The moment Ruth felt him lift her up, she stopped crying and stared at him with a wide-eyed, pathetic stare, as though she knew that there was trouble in the house. John laughed at her so ancient-seeming distress. He was very fond of his baby sister, and whispered in her ear as he started back to the living room. "Now, you let your big brother tell you something, baby. Just as soon as you's able to stand on your feet, you run away from this house. Run far away." He did not quite know why he said this, or where he wanted her to run, but it made him feel instantly better. His father was saying, as John came back into the room, "I'm sure going to be having some questions to ask you in a minute, old lady. I'm going to be wanting to know just how come you let this boy go out and get half killed." "Oh, no, you ain't," said Aunt Florence. "You ain't going to be starting none of that mess this evening. You know right doggone well that Roy don't never ask nobody if he can do nothing. He just go right ahead and do like he pleases. Elizabeth sure can't put no ball and chain on him. She got her hands full right here in this house, and it ain't her fault if Roy got ahead just as hard as his father's. You got an awful lot to say. Look like for once you could keep from putting your mouth in my business." He said this without looking at her. "It ain't my fault," she said, "that you was born a fool and always done been a fool and ain't never going to change. I swear to my father you'd try the patience of Job. I done told you before," he said. He had not ceased working over the moaning Roy, and was preparing now to dab the wound with iodine, "that I didn't want you coming in here and using that gutter language in front of my children." "Don't you worry about my language, brother," she said with spirit. "You better start worrying about your life. What these children here ain't going to do them near as much harm as what they see." "What they see," his father muttered, "is a poor man trying to serve the Lord. That's my life." "Then I guarantee you," she said, "that they going to do their best to keep it from being their life. You mark my words." He turned and looked at her, and intercepted the look that passed between the two women. John's mother, for reasons that were not at all his father's reasons, wanted Aunt Florence to keep still. He looked away ironically. John watched his mother's mouth tighten bitterly as she dropped her eyes. His father, in silence, began bandaging Roy's forehead. "It's just the mercy of God," he said at last, "that this boy didn't lose his eye. Look here." His mother leaned over and looked into Roy's face with a sad, sympathetic murmur. Yet, John felt, she had seen instantly the extent of the danger to Roy's eye and to his life, and was beyond that worry now. Now she was merely marking time, as it were, and preparing herself against the moment when her husband's anger would turn, full force, against her. His father now turned to John, who was standing near the French doors with Ruth in his arms. "You come here, boy," he said, "and see what them white folks done to your brother." John walked over to the sofa, holding himself as proudly beneath his father's furious eyes as a prince approaching the scaffold. "Look here," said his father, grasping him roughly by one arm. "Look at your brother." John looked down at Roy, who gazed at him with almost no expression in his dark eyes. But John knew by the weary, impatient set of Roy's young mouth that his brother was asking that none of this be held against him. It wasn't his fault or John's, Roy's eyes said, that they had such a crazy father. His father, with the air of one forcing the sinner to look down into the pit that is to be his portion, moved away slightly so that John could see Roy's wound. Roy had been gashed by a knife, luckily not very sharp, from the center of his forehead where his hair began, downward to the bone just above his left eye. The wound described a kind of crazy half-moon and ended in a violent, fuzzy tail that was the ruin of Roy's eyebrow. Time would darken the half-moon wound into Roy's dark skin, but nothing would bring together again the so violently divided eyebrow. This crazy lift, this question, would remain with him forever, and emphasize forever something mocking and sinister in Roy's face. John felt a sudden impulse to smile, but his father's eyes were on him and he fought the impulse back. Certainly the wound was now very ugly, and very red, and must, John felt, with a quickened sympathy toward Roy, who had not cried out, have been very painful. He could imagine the sensation caused when Roy staggered into the house, blinded by his blood. But just the same, he wasn't dead, he wasn't changed. He would be in the streets again the moment he was better. You see? Came now from his father. It was white folks. Some of them white folks you like so much that tried to cut your brother's throat. John thought, with immediate anger and with a curious contempt for his father's inexactness, that only a blind man, however white, could possibly have been aiming at Roy's throat. And his mother said with a calm insistence, and he was trying to cut theirs. Him and them bad boys. Yes, said Aunt Florence. I ain't heard you ask that boy nary a question about how all this happened. Look like you just determined to raise Cain anyhow and make everybody in this house suffer because something done happened to the apple of your eye. I done asked you, cried his father in a fearful exasperation, to stop running your mouth. Don't none of this concern you. This is my family and this is my house. You want me to slap you side of the head? You slap me, she said with a placidity equally fearful. And I do guarantee you won't do no more slapping in a hurry. Hush now, said his mother, rising. Ain't no need for all this. What's done is done. We ought to be on our knees, thanking the Lord it weren't no worse. Amen to that, said Aunt Florence. Tell that foolish nigger something. You can tell that foolish son of yours something, he said to his wife with venom, having decided, it seemed, to ignore his sister. Him standing there with them big buck eyes. You can tell him to take this like a warning from the Lord. This is what white folks does to niggers. I've been telling you, now you see. He better take it like a warning? Shrieked Aunt Florence. He better take it? Why, Gabriel, it ain't him went halfway across the city to get in a fight with white boys. This boy in the sofa went deliberately with a whole lot of other boys, all the way to the west side, just looking for a fight. I declare, I do wonder what goes on in your head. You know right well, his mother said, looking directly at his father, that Johnny don't travel with the same class of boys as Roy goes with. You done beat Roy too many times, here, in this very room for going out with them bad boys. Roy got hisself hurt this afternoon because he was out doing something he didn't have no business doing, and that's the end of it. You ought to be thanking your Redeemer he ain't dead. And for all the care you take of him, he said. He might as well be dead. Don't look like you much care whether he lives or dies. Lord have mercy, said Aunt Florence. He's my son too, his mother said with heat. I carried him in my belly for 9 months and I know him just like I know his daddy, and they's just exactly alike. Now, you ain't got no right in the world to talk to me like that. I reckon you know, he said, choked and breathing hard. All about a mother's love. I sure reckon on you telling me how a woman can sit in the house all day and let her own flesh and blood go out and get half butchered. Don't you tell me you don't know no way to stop him, because I remembered my mother, God rest her soul, and she'd have found a way. She was my mother too, said Aunt Florence. And I recollect, if you don't, you being brought home many a time more dead than alive. She didn't find no way to stop you. She wore herself out beating on you, just like you've been wearing yourself out beating on this boy here. My, he said. You got a lot to say. I ain't doing a thing, she said, but trying to talk some sense into your big, black, hard head. You better stop trying to blame everything on Elizabeth and look to your own wrongdoings. Never mind, Florence, his mother said. It's all over and done with now. I'm out of this house, he shouted. Every day the Lord sends, working to put the food in these children's mouths. Don't you think I got a right to ask the mother of these children to look after them and see that they don't break their necks before I get back home? You ain't got but one child, she said. That's liable to go out and break his neck, and that's Roy, and you know it. And I don't know how in the world you expect me to run this house and look after these children and keep running around the block after Roy. No, I can't stop him, I done told you that, and you can't stop him neither. You don't know what to do with this boy, and that's why you all the time trying to fix the blame on somebody. Ain't nobody to blame, Gabriel. You just better pray God to stop him before somebody puts another knife in him and put him in his grave. They stared at each other a moment in an awful pause, she with a startled, pleading question in her eyes. Then, with all his might, he reached out and slapped her across the face. She crumpled at once, hiding her face with one thing hand, and Aunt Florence moved to hold her up. Sarah watched all this with greedy eyes. Then Roy sat up and said in shaking voice, "Don't you slap my mother. That's my mother. You slap her again, you black bastard, and I swear to God I'll kill you." In the moment that these words filled the room, Ad hung in the room like the infinitesimal moment of hanging, jagged light that precedes an explosion. John and his father were staring into each other's eyes. John thought for that moment that his father believed the words had come from him. His eyes were so wild and depthlessly malevolent, and his mouth was twisted into such snarl of pain. Then, in the absolute silence that followed Roy's words, John saw that his father was not seeing him, was not seeing anything unless it were a vision. John wanted to turn and flee, as though he had encountered in the jungle some evil beast, crouching and ravenous, with eyes like hell unclosed. And exactly as though, on a road's turning, he found himself staring at certain destruction. He found that he could not move. Then his father turned and looked down at Roy. "What did you say?" his father asked. "I told you," said Roy, "not to touch my mother." "You cursed me," said his father. Roy said nothing. Neither did he drop his eyes. "Gabriel," said his mother, "Gabriel, let us pray." His father's hands were at his waist, and he took off his belt. Tears were in his eyes. "Gabriel," cried Aunt Florence, "ain't you done playing the fool for tonight?" Then his father raised his belt, and it fell with a whistling sound on Roy, who shivered and fell back, his face to the wall. But he did not cry out, and the belt was raised again and again. The air rang with the whistling and the crack against Roy's flesh, and the baby Ruth began to scream. My lord, his father whispered. My lord, my lord." He raised the belt again, but Aunt Florence caught it from behind and held it. His mother rushed over to the sofa and caught Roy in her arms, crying as John had never seen a woman, or anybody, cry before. Roy caught his mother around the neck and held on to her as though he were drowning. Aunt Florence and his father faced each other. "Yes, Lord," Aunt Florence said. "You was born wild and you's going to die wild, but ain't no use to try to take the whole world with you. You can't change nothing, Gabriel. You ought to know that by now." John opened the church door with his father's key at 6 o'clock. Tari service officially began at 8, but it could begin at any time, whenever the Lord moved one of the saints to enter the church and pray. It was seldom, however, that anyone arrived before 8:30, the Spirit of the Lord being sufficiently tolerant to allow the saints time to do their Saturday night shopping, clean their houses, and put their children to bed. John closed the door behind him and stood in the narrow church aisle, hearing behind him the voices of children playing, and ruder voices, the voices of their elders, cursing and crying in the streets. It was dark in the church. Street lights had been snapping on all populous avenue. The light of the day was gone. His feet seemed planted on this wooden floor. They did not wish to carry him one step further. The darkness and silence of the church pressed on him, cold as judgment, and the voices crying from the window might have been crying from another world. John moved forward, hearing his feet crack against the sagging wood, to where the golden cross on the red field of the altar cloth glowed like smothered fire, and switched on one weak light. In the air of the church hung, perpetually, the odor of dust and sweat. For, like the carpet in his mother's living room, the dust of this church was invincible. And when the saints were praying or rejoicing, their bodies gave off an acrid, steamy smell, a marriage of the odors of dripping bodies and soaking, starched white linen. It was a storefront church and had stood, for John's lifetime, on the corner of this sinful avenue, facing the hospital to which criminal wounded and dying were carried almost every night. The saints, arriving, had rented this abandoned store and taken out the fixtures, had painted the walls and built a pulpit, moved in a piano and camp chairs, and bought the biggest Bible they could find. They put white curtains in the show window, and painted across this window temple of the fire baptized. Then they were ready to do the Lord's work. And the Lord, as he had promised to the 2 or 3 first gathered together, sent others. And these brought others and created a church. From this parent branch, if the Lord blessed, other branches might grow and a mighty work be begun throughout the city and throughout the land. In the history of the temple, the Lord has raised up evangelists and teachers and prophets, and called them out into the field to do his work, to do up and down the land carrying the gospel, or to raise other temples in Philadelphia, Georgia, Boston, or Brooklyn. Wherever the Lord led, they followed. Every now and again one of them came home to testify of the wonders the Lord had worked through him, or her. And sometimes on a special Sunday they all visited one of the nearest churches of the Brotherhood. There had been a time before John was born when his father had also been in the field. But now, having to earn for his family their daily bread, it was seldom that he was able to travel further away than Philadelphia, and then only for a very short time. His father no longer, as he had once done, led great revival meetings, his name printed large on placards that advertised the coming of a man of God. His father had once had a mighty reputation. But all this, it seemed, had changed since he had left the South. Perhaps he ought now to have a church of his own. John wondered if his father wanted that. He ought, perhaps, to be leading, as Father James now led, a great flock to the kingdom. But his father was only a caretaker in the house of God. He was responsible for the replacement of burnt-out light bulbs, and for the cleanliness of the church and the care of the Bibles and the hymn books and the placards on the walls. On Friday night he conducted the young ministers' service and preached with them. Rarely did he bring the message on a Sunday morning. Only if there was no one else to speak was his father called upon. He was a kind of fill-in speaker, a holy handyman. Yet he was treated, so far as John could see, with great respect. No one, none of the saints in any case, had ever reproached or rebuked his father, or suggested that his life was anything but spotless. Nevertheless, this man, God's minister, had struck John's mother, and John had wanted to kill him, and wanted to kill him still. John has swept one side of the church, and the chairs were still piled in the space before the altar when there was a knocking at the door. When he opened the door, he saw that it was Alicia, come to help him. "Praise the Lord," said Alicia, standing on the doorstep, grinning. "Praise the Lord," said John. This was the greeting always used among the saints. Father Alicia came in, slamming the door behind him and stamping his feet. He had probably just come from a basketball court. His forehead was polished with recent sweat and his hair stood up. He was wearing his green woolen sweater, on which was stamped the letter of his high school, and his shirt was open at the throat. "You ain't cold like that?" John asked, staring at him. "No, little brother, I ain't cold. You reckon everybody's frail like you?" "It ain't only the little ones gets carried to the graveyard," John said. He felt unaccustomedly bold and light-hearted. The arrival of Alicia had caused his mood to change. Alicia, who had started down the aisle towards the back room, turned to stare at John with astonishment and menace. "Ah," he said, "I see you fixing to be sassy with Brother Alicia tonight. I'm gonna have to give you a little correction. You just wait till I wash my hands. Ain't no need to wash your hands if you come here to work. Just take hold of that mop and put some soap and water in the bucket." "Lord," said Alicia, running water into the sink, and talking, it seemed, to the water. "That sure is a sassy nigger out there. I sure hope he don't get hisself hurt one of these days. Running his mouth that-a-way. Look like he just won't stop till somebody busts him in the eye." He sighed deeply and began to lather his hands. Here I come running all the way so he wouldn't bust a gut lifting one of them chairs, and all he got to say is, "Put some water in the bucket. Can't do nothing with a nigger nohow." He stopped and turned to face John. "Auntie, you got no manners, boy. You better learn how to talk to old folks. You better get out here with the mop and pail. We ain't got all night." "Keep on," said Alicia. "I see I'm going to have to give you your lumps tonight." He disappeared. John heard him in the toilet, and then over the thunderous water, he heard him knocking things over in the back room. "Now what you doing? Boy, leave me alone. I'm fixing to work." "It sure sounds like it." John dropped his broom and walked into the back. Alicia had knocked over a pile of camp chairs, folded in the corner, and stood over them angrily, holding the mop in his hand. "I keep telling you not to hide that mop back there. Can't nobody get at it? I always get at it. Ain't everybody as clumsy as you?" Alicia let fall the stiff gray mop and rushed at John, catching him off balance and lifting him from the floor. With both arms tightening around John's waist, he tried to cut John's breath, watching him meanwhile with a smile that, as John struggled and squirmed, became a set, ferocious grimace. With both hands John pushed and pounded against the shoulders and biceps of Alicia, and tried to thrust with his knees against Alicia's belly. Usually such a battle was soon over, since Alicia was so much bigger and stronger and as a wrestler so much more skilled. But tonight John was filled with a determination not to be conquered, or at least to make the conquest dear. With all the strength that was in him, he fought against Alicia, and he was filled with a strength that was almost hatred. He kicked, pounded, twisted, pushed, using his lack of size to confound and exasperate Alicia, whose damp fists, joined at the small of John's back, soon slipped. It was a deadlock. He could not tighten his hold, John could not break it. And so they turned, battling in the narrow room, and the odor of Alicia's sweat was heavy in John's nostrils. He saw the veins rise on Alicia's forehead and in his neck. His breath became jagged and harsh, and the grimace on his face became more cruel. And John, watching these manifestations of his power, was filled with a wild delight. They stumbled against the folding chairs, and Alicia's foot slipped and his hold broke. They stared at each other, half grinning. John slumped to the floor, holding his head between his hands. "I didn't hurt you none, did I?" Alicia asked. John looked up. "Me? No, I just want to catch my breath." Alicia went to the sink and splashed cold water on his face and neck. "I reckon you going to let me work now," he said. "It wasn't me that stopped you in the first place." He stood up. He found that his legs were trembling. He looked at Alicia, who was drying himself on the towel. "You teach me wrestling one time, okay?" "No, boy," Alicia said, laughing. "I don't want to wrestle with you. You're too strong for me." And he began to run hot water into the great pail. John walked past him to the front and picked up his broom. In a moment Alicia followed and began mopping near the door. John had finished sweeping, and he now mounted to the pulpit to dust the 3 throne-like chairs, purple, with white linen squares for the headpieces and for the massive arms. It dominated all, the pulpit. A wooden platform raised above the congregation, with a high stand in the center for the Bible, before which the preacher stood. There faced the congregation, flowing downwards from this height, the scarlet altar cloth that bore the golden cross and the legend, "Jesus Saves." The pulpit was holy. None could stand so high unless God's seal was on him. He dusted the piano and sat down on the piano stool to wait until Alicia had finished mopping on side of the church and he could replace the chairs. Suddenly Alicia said, without looking at him, "Boy, ain't it time you was thinking about your soul?" "I guess so," John said with a quietness that terrified him. "I know it looks hard," said Alicia. "From the outside, especially when you young. But you believe me, boy, you can't find no greater joy than you find in the service of the Lord." John said nothing. He touched a black key on the piano and it made a dull sound, like a distant drum. "You got to remember," Alicia said, turning now to look at him, "that you think about it with a carnal mind. You still got Adam's mind, boy, and you keep thinking about your friend, you want to do what they do, and you want to go to the movies, and I bet you think about girls, don't you, Johnny?" "Sure you do," he said, half smiling, finding his answer in John's face. "And you don't want to give up all that. But when the Lord saves you, he burns out all that old Adam. He gives you a new mind and a new heart, and then you don't find no pleasure in the world. You get all your joy in walking and talking with Jesus every day." He stared in a dull paralysis of terror at the body of Alicia. He saw him standing. Had Alicia forgotten? Beside Ella May before the altar while Father James rebuked him for the evil that lived in the flesh. He looked into Alicia's face, full of questions he would never ask. And Alicia's face told him nothing. "People say it's hard," said Alicia, bending again to his mop. "But, let me tell you, it ain't as hard as living in this wicked world and all the sadness of the world where there ain't no pleasure nohow, and then dying and going to hell. Ain't nothing as hard as that." And he looked back at John. "You see how the devil tricks people into losing their soul?" "Yes," said John at last, sounding almost angry, unable to bear his thoughts, unable to bear the silence in which Alicia looked at him. Alicia grinned. "They got girls in the school I go to." He was finished with one side of the church and he motioned to John to replace the chairs. "And they nice girls, but their minds ain't on the Lord, and I try to tell them the time to repent ain't tomorrow, it's today. They think ain't no sense to worrying now. They can sneak into heaven on their deathbed. But I tell them, honey, ain't everybody lies down to die. People going all the time just like that. Today you see them and tomorrow you don't. Boy, they don't know what to make of old Alicia because he don't go to movies, and he don't dance, and he don't play cards, and he don't go with them behind the stairs." He paused and stared at John, who watched him helplessly, not knowing what to say. And boy, some of them is real nice girls, I mean beautiful girls, and when you got so much power that they don't tempt you, then you know you saved sure enough. I just look at them and I tell them Jesus saved me one day, and I'm gonna go all the way with him. Ain't no woman, no, nor no man neither going to make me change my mind. He paused again, and smiled and dropped his eyes. That Sunday, he said. That Sunday, you remember? When Father got up in the pulpit and called me an LMA down because he thought we was about to commit sin. Well boy, I don't want to tell no lie, I was mighty hot against the old man that Sunday. But I thought about it, and the Lord made me to see that he was right. Me and LMA, we didn't have nothing on our minds at all, but look like the devil is just everywhere. Sometime the devil he put his hand on you and look like you just can't breathe. Look like you just burning up and you got to do something and you can't do nothing. I've been on my knees many a time, weeping and wrestling before the Lord, crying Johnny and calling on Jesus' name. That's the only name that's got power over Satan. That's the way it's been with me sometime, and I'm saved. What you think it's going to be like for you, boy? He looked at John, who, head down, was putting the chairs in order. Do you want to be saved, Johnny? I don't know, John said. Will you try him? Just fall on your knees one day and ask him to help you to pray. John turned away and looked out over the church, which now seemed like a vast, high field, ready for the harvest. He thought of a first Sunday, a communion Sunday not long ago when the saints, dressed all in white, ate flat, unsalted Jewish bread, which was the body of the Lord, and drank red grape juice, which was his blood. And when they rotated, the men on the one side, and the women on the other, and 2 basins were filled with water so that they could wash each other's feet, as Christ had commanded his disciples to do. They knelt before each other, woman before woman, and man before man, and washed and dried each other's feet. Brother Elisha had knelt before John's father. When the service was over, they had kissed each other with a holy kiss. John turned again and looked at Elisha. Elisha looked at him and smiled. You think about what I say, boy. When they were finished, Elisha sat down at the piano and played to himself. John sat on a chair in the front row and watched him. Don't look like nobody's coming tonight, he said after a long while. Elisha did not arrest his playing of a mournful song. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. They'll be here, said Elisha. And as he spoke, there was a knocking on the door. Elisha stopped playing. John went to the door, where 2 sisters stood, Sister McCandless and Sister Price. Praise the Lord, son, they said. Praise the Lord, said John. They entered, heads bowed and hands folded before them around their Bibles. They bore the black cloth coats that they wore all week, and they had old felt hats on their heads. John felt a chill as they passed him, and he closed the door. Elisha stood up, and they cried again, Praise the Lord! Then the 2 women knelt for a moment before their seats to pray. This was also passionate ritual. Each entering saint, before he could take part in the service, must commune for a moment alone with the Lord. John watched the praying women. Elisha sat again at the piano and picked up his mournful song. The women rose, Sister Price first, and then Sister McCandless, and looked around the church. Is we the first? Asked Sister Price. Her voice was mild. Her skin was copper. She was younger than Sister McCandless by several years, a single woman who had never, as she testified, known a man. No, Sister Price, smiled Brother Elisha. Brother Johnny here was the first. Him and me cleaned up this evening. Brother Johnny is mighty faithful, said Sister McCandless. The Lord's going to work with him in a mighty way, you mark my words. There were times whenever, in fact, the Lord had shown his favor by working through her, when whatever Sister McCandless said sounded like a threat. Tonight she was still very much under the influence of the sermon she had preached the night before. She was an enormous woman, one of the biggest and blackest God had ever made, and he had blessed her with a mighty voice with which to sing and preach, and she was going out soon into the field. For many years the Lord had pressed Sister McCandless to get up, as she said, and move, but she had been of timid disposition and feared to set herself above the others. Not until he laid her low, before this very altar, had she dared to rise and preach the gospel. But now she had buckled on her traveling shoes. She would cry aloud and spare not, and lift up her voice like a trumpet in Zion. Yes, said Sister Price with her gentle smile. He says that he that is faithful in little things shall be made chief over many. John smiled back at her, a smile that, despite the shy gratitude it was meant to convey, did not escape being ironic or even malicious. But Sister Price did not see this, which deepened John's hidden scorn. "Ain't but you two who cleaned the church?" asked Sister McCandless with an unnerving smile, the smile of the prophet who sees the secrets hidden in the hearts of men. "Lord, Sister McCandless," said Alicia. "Look like it ain't never but us two. I don't know what the other young folks does on Saturday nights, but they don't come nowhere near here." Neither did Alicia usually come anywhere near the church on Saturday evenings, but as the pastor's nephew he was entitled to certain freedoms. In him it was a virtue that he came at all. "It sure is time we had a revival among our young folks," said Sister McCandless. "They cooling off something terrible. The Lord ain't going to bless no church what lets its young people get so lax. No, sir," he said, "because you ain't neither hot or cold I'm going to spit you out in my mouth. That's the word." And she looked around sternly, and Sister Price nodded. "And Brother Johnny here ain't even saved yet," said Alicia. "Look like the saved young people would be ashamed to let him be more faithful in the house of God than they are." "He said that the first shall be last and the last shall be first," said Sister Price with a triumphant smile. "Indeed he did," agreed Sister McCandless. "This boy going to make it to the kingdom before any of them. You wait and see." "Amen," said Brother Alicia, and he smiled at John. "Is Father going to come and be with us tonight?" asked Sister McCandless after a moment. Alicia frowned and thrust out his lower lip. "I don't reckon so, sister," he said. "I believe he going to try to stay home tonight and preserve his strength for the morning service. The Lord's been speaking to him in visions and dreams, and he ain't got much sleep lately." "Yes," said Sister McCandless. "That sure is a praying man. I tell you, it ain't every shepherd tarries before the Lord for his flock like Father James does." "Indeed, that is the truth," said Sister Price with animation. "The Lord sure done blessed us with a good shepherd." "He mighty hard sometimes," said Sister McCandless. "But the word is hard. The way of holiness ain't no joke." "He done made me to know that," said Brother Alicia with a smile. Sister McCandless stared at him. Then she laughed. "Lord," she cried, "I bet you can say so. And I loved him for that," said Sister Price. "It ain't every pastor going to set down his own nephew, in front of the whole church, too. And Alicia hadn't committed no big fault." "Ain't no such thing," said Sister McCandless, "as a little fault or a big fault. Satan gets his foot in the door, he ain't gonna rest till he's in the room. You is in the word or you ain't. Ain't no halfway with God." "You reckon we ought to start?" asked Sister Price doubtfully after a pause. "Don't look to me like nobody else is coming." "Now, don't you sit there," laughed Sister McCandless, "and be of little faith like that. I just believe the Lord's going to give us a great service tonight." She turned to John. "Ain't your daddy coming out tonight?" "Yes'm," John replied. "He said he was coming." "There," said Sister McCandless. "And you, Mama, is she coming out too?" "I don't know," John said. "She mighty tired." "She ain't so tired she can't come out and pray a little while," said Sister McCandless. For a moment John hated her, and he stared at her fat, black profile in anger. Sister Price said, "But I declare, it's a wonder how that woman works like she does, and keeps those children looking so neat and clean and all, and gets out to the house of God almost every night. Can't be nothing but the Lord that bears her up." "I reckon we might have a little song," said Sister McCandless, "just to warm things up. I sure hate to walk in a church where folks is just sitting and talking. Look like it takes all my spirit away." "Amen," said Sister Price. Alicia began a song. "This may be my last time," and they began to sing. "This may be the last time I pray with you. This may be my last time, I don't know." As they sang, they clapped their hands, and John saw Sister McCandless looked about her for a tambourine. He rose and mounted the pulpit steps, and took from the small opening at the bottom of the pulpit 3 tambourines. He gave one to Sister McCandless, who nodded and smiled, not breaking her rhythm, and he put the rest on a chair near Sister Price. "This may be the last time I sing with you. This may be my last time, I don't know." He watched them, singing with them, because otherwise they would force him to sing, and trying not to hear the words that he forced outwards from his throat. And he thought to clap his hands, but he could not. They remained tightly folded in his lap. If he did not sing, they would be upon him, but his heart told him that he had no right to sing or to rejoice. Oh, this may be my last time, this may be my last time, oh, this may be my last time. And he watched Elisha, who was a young man in the Lord, who, a priest after the order of Melchizedek, had been given power over death and hell. The Lord had lifted him up, and turned him around, and set his feet on the shining way. What were the thought of Elisha when night came, and he was alone where no eye could see, and no tongue bear witness, save only the trumpet-like tongue of God? Were his thought, his bed, his body foul? What were his dreams? This may be my last time, I don't know. Behind him the door opened and the wintry air rushed in. He turned to see, entering the door, his father, his mother, and his aunt. It was only the presence of his aunt that shocked him, for she had never entered this church before. She seemed to have been summoned to witness a bloody act. It was in all her aspect, quiet with a dreadful quietness, as she moved down the aisle behind his mother and knelt for a moment beside his mother and father to pray. John knew that it was the hand of the Lord that had led her to this place, and his heart grew cold. The Lord was riding on the wind tonight. What might that wind have spoken before the morning came? Part 2. The Prayer of the Saints. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? 1 Florence's Prayer. Light and life to all he brings, risen with healing in his wings. Florence raised her voice in the only song she could remember that her mother used to sing. It's me, it's me, it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Gabriel turned to stare at her, in astonished triumph that his sister should at last be humbled. She did not look at him. Her thoughts were all on God. After a moment, the congregation and the piano joined her. Not my father, not my mother, but it's me, O Lord. She knew that Gabriel rejoiced, not that her humility might lead her to grace, but only that some private anguish had brought her low. Her songs revealed that she was suffering, and this her brother was glad to see. This had always been his spirit. Nothing had ever changed it. Nothing ever would. For a moment her pride stood up. The resolution that had brought her to this place tonight faltered, and she felt that if Gabriel was the Lord's anointed, she would rather die and endure hell for all eternity than bow before his altar. But she strangled her pride, rising to stand with them in the holy space before the altar, and still singing, standing in the need of prayer, kneeling as she had not knelt for many years, and in this company before the altar, she gained again from the song the meaning it had held for her mother, and gained a new meaning for herself. As a child, the song had made her see a woman, dressed in black, standing in infinite mists alone, waiting for the form of the Son of God to lead her through the white fire. This woman now returned to her more desolate. It was herself not knowing where to put her foot. She waited trembling, for the mists to be parted that she might walk in peace. That long road, her life, which she had followed for 60 groaning years, had led her at last to her mother's starting place, the altar of the Lord. For her feet stood on the edge of that river which her mother, rejoicing, had crossed over. And would the Lord now reach out his hand to Florence and heal and save? But, going down before the scarlet cloth at the foot of the golden cross, it came to her that she had forgotten how to pray. Her mother has taught her that the way to pray was to forget everything and everyone but Jesus, to pour out of the heart, like water from a bucket, all evil thoughts, all thoughts of self, all malice for one's enemies, to come boldly, and yet more humbly than the little child, before the giver of all good things. Yet, in Florence's heart tonight hatred and bitterness weighed like granite. Pride refused to abdicate from the throne it had held so long. Neither love nor humility had led her to the altar, but only fear. And God did not hear the prayers of the fearful, for the hearts of the fearful held no belief. Such prayers could rise no higher than the lips that uttered them. Around her she heard the saints' voices, a steady, charged murmur, with now and again the name of Jesus rising above, sometimes like the swift rising of a bird into the air of a sunny day, sometimes like the slow rising of the mist from swamp ground. Was this the way to pray? In the church that she had joined when she first came north, one knelt before the altar once only, in the beginning, to ask for forgiveness of sins, and this accomplished, one was baptized and became a Christian, to kneel no more thereafter. Even if the Lord should lay some great burden on one's back, as he has done, but never so heavy a burden as this she carried now. One prayed in silence. It was indecent, the practice of common niggers to cry aloud at the foot of the altar, tears streaming for all the world to see. She had never done it, not even as a girl down home in the church they had gone to in those days. Now perhaps it was too late, and the Lord would suffer her to die in the darkness in which she had lived so long. In the olden days God had healed his children. He had caused the blind to see, the lame to walk, and he had raised dead men from the grave. But Florence remembered one phrase, which now she muttered against the knuckles that bruised her lips. Lord, help my unbelief. For the message had come to Florence that had come to Hezekiah. Set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Many nights ago, as she turned on her bed, this message came to her. For many days and nights the message was repeated. There had been time then to turn to God, but she had thought to evade him, seeking among the women she knew for remedies. And then, because the pain increased, she had sought doctors. And when the doctors did no good, she had climbed stairs all over town to rooms where incense burned and where men or women in traffic with the devil gave her white powders, or herbs to make tea, and cast spells upon her to take the sickness away. The burning in her bowels did not cease, that burning which, eating inward, took the flesh visibly from her bones and caused her to vomit up her food. Then one night she found Death standing in the room, blacker than night and gigantic. He filled one corner of her narrow room, watching her with eyes like the eyes of a serpent when his head is lifted to strike. Then she screamed and called on God, turning on the light. And Death departed, but she knew he would be back. Every night would bring him a little closer to her bed. And after Death's first silent vigil, her life came to her bedside to curse her with many voices. Her mother, in rotting rags filling the room with the stink of the grave, stood over her to curse the daughter who had denied her on her deathbed. Gabriel came, from all his times and ages, to curse the sister who had held